6 Best Graphic Cards in 2022. If you are looking for the best graphic cards, then you are at right place there. Watch this video till end and subscribe to the channel. We have also put links of products in the description. Make sure you have viewed it once. Let's start the video. Number 1. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 10GB. The RTX 3080 is the best graphics card out there today. Well, the 10GB one is, at its original MSRP. You might find it going for a little more than that today. And don't forget the 12GB model that Nvidia later released, which is even more expensive still. Yet whichever model you go for, the RTX 3080 represents a huge generational performance boost over the previous RTX 20 series. That's impressive when put up against either the RTX 2080 or 2080 Super. But when you consider that this nominally $699 card cannot just match but massively outperform the $1,200 RTX 2080 Ti, it really hits home. The thing which really stands out from our testing is the difference it makes to ray tracing performance. The first generation of ray tracing capable cards requires such a huge frame rate sacrifice that most people shied away from turning it on. But that's no longer the case with this generation. Number 2. AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT. As a red team alternative to Nvidia's high-end graphics cards, there have been few finer than the RX 6800 XT, a highly competitive card that comes so close to its rival, with a nominal performance differential to the RTX 3080, is truly an enthusiast card worth consideration for any PC gamer with 4K in their sights. The RX 6800 XT was the first of AMD Radeon A2 GPU to enter the fray, and while we've had plenty of other cards since, this is the one that shines brighter than most and makes the most sense financially. A key battleground for Nvidia and AMD this generation has been on the memory front, covering both bandwidth and capacity. The RX 6800 XT comes with 16GB of GDDR6 across the 256-bit bus for a total bandwidth of 512GB/s. That means AMD has Nvidia's 10GB RTX 3080 on the ropes in terms of capacity, but falls slightly behind in raw bandwidth to the RTX 3080 760GB/s. AMD has an ace up its sleeve in throughput terms in the form of its Infinity Cache, which bolsters the card's effective bandwidth considerably, some 1664 GB/s, by AMD making a 3.25x improvement over the RX 6800 XT raw bandwidth. In gaming terms, it means you're looking at similar performance, despite the very different underlying technologies. It's a tough call between the RX 6800 XT and the RTX 3080, but the latter pips AMD to the post with the final touches a la RTX. The RX 6800 XT is $50 cheaper, delivers high 4K performance, and a hefty VRAM increase over the RTX 3080. However, it's easy to argue that an extra $50 dropped on the RTX 3080 is money well spent, a small price to pay for greater 4K performance, much improved ray tracing, and DLSS. All are available today and with years of developer support in the bank. Number 3. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, the best value ampere to date. The RTX 3060 Ti is very closely related to the RTX 3070. Both utilize the same GA104 GPU. The RTX 3060 Ti has fewer SM enabled, with the same 8GB of GDDR6 memory across a 256-bit bus, while 17% less capable in core count than its pricier sibling. The RTX 3060 Ti makes up for it with some judicious GPU boost frequencies. That partially explains why the RTX 3060 Ti can be within 17% to just single digits off the pace of the RTX 3070, despite operating at a silicon disadvantage. Not bad for a $399 card, if you can find it for that price. While 17% less capable in core count than its pricier sibling, the RTX 3060 Ti makes up for it with some judicious GPU boost frequencies. That partially explains why the RTX 3060 Ti can be within 17% to just single digits off the pace of the RTX 3070, despite operating at a silicon disadvantage. Not bad for a $399 card, if you can find it for that price. The RTX 3060 Ti delivers gaming performance that's rather stupendous. The RTX 3060 Ti delivers gaming performance that's rather stupendous when you look at generational gains over even the RTX 20 series next to the GTX 10 series. It's quite frightening, actually. There's exceptional 1008 and 1440 performance in a tiny package here, the likes of which would have set you back something close to twice as much cash a couple of years ago. And that's pretty great. And that's often just in terms of average frame rates. To keep your GPU above 60 Fps requires a lot of tinkering. That can sometimes take the fun out of 4K gaming in the first place. It's a much smoother affair at 1440p. And at 1080p you can pretty much max everything out and just go. There's just the small issue of availability, that which has loomed over all the other RTX 30 series launches to date. Price hikes have undermined this card's very reason for existing, and until it returns to something like its MSRP of $399, it just isn't as enticing a card. Number 4. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070. Perhaps the only high-end Ampere that's anything close to reasonably affordable, the RTX 3070 is also impressive for its ability to match the top-string Turing graphics card, the RTX 2080 Ti, for less than half of its price tag. Sure, it's not exactly a cheap graphics card, but the RTX 3070 is bringing ultra-enthusiast gaming performance down into a far more palatable price point, and it's also making high-end ray tracing and 4K gaming relevant to a much wider sector of the audience too. At $499, it's still a significant sum by any means. We're talking next-gen console equivalent pricing here, but it's hardly an exorbitant sum when compared to PC gaming's top graphics silicon today. In return, you're gifted a 4K-capable graphics card that doesn't require too much fiddling to reach playable, if not high, frame rates, and it'll absolutely smash it at 1440p. No question about that. The RTX 3070 Founders Edition is still sporting the 12-pin power connector of the RTX 3080, and therefore it comes with a single 8-pin to 12-pin adapter in the packaging. Nvidia has once more delivered a super compact PCB with this FE card, however, which makes the whole shroud far smaller than the RTX 3080. The RTX 3070 also offers up Nvidia's reliable driver stack, the GeForce Experience app, Shadow Plays recording, and the new broadcast suite. The impressive reflex latency spiking opens a new tab setup, and the latent potential of RTX I/O opens a new tab, bringing the next-gen console's most potent feature to the PC. And of course, you have ray tracing and the ever-improving DLSS enhancements. Number 5. AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT. The RTX 3090 may have sat unchallenged at the top rungs of graphics performance at launch, but it wouldn't be long until AMD rustled together a challenger in the RX 6900 XT, or Big Navi. The RX 6900 XT hopes to knock Ampere's finest from its perch on high and send it spiraling back down to earth, and it gets kind of close, too, with 4K performance a little off the pace of the RTX 3090 and all for 1/3 off the asking price. For that reason, it's simply the better buy for any PC gamer without any ulterior motives of the pro creator variety. But there's a reason it's not number 1 in our graphics card guide today, and that's simply due to the fact it's not that much better than an RTX 3080, and sometimes not at all. It's another $300 on top of the RTX 3080's recommended price tag, and you'd hope for higher performance in both rasterized and ray tracing workloads. Yet, inevitably its ray tracing acceleration lags behind the competition. Even within AMD lineup, there's no pressing argument to pick this up over more affordable offerings. That's why it's strange that AMD is making a point of the RX 6900 XT being a card built for gaming first. Even Nvidia didn't make that mistake, billing the RTX 3090 as a pro creator card with a substantial increase in memory capacity over the second-run gaming card below to help justify the cost. It's far more difficult to justify the cost of the RX 6900 XT, sharing as many qualities with far cheaper cards as it does, and with the slight performance gain it's able to deliver from its few upgrades. Number 6. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. The RTX 3080 Ti isn't the mightiest GeForce graphics card that Nvidia makes. That accolade originally went to the RTX 3090 by a hair, and was more recently claimed by the RTX 3090 Ti. Opens a new tab. But when all is said and benchmarked, it is the uber high-end RTX 3080 Ti that we'd recommend to any PC gamer looking to go all out on their next build. The arrival of Ampere generation did a lot to diminish the awkwardness or fiddly nature of 4K gaming, but the RTX 3080 Ti truly squashes it. Setting up for high-performance 4K gaming remains a pricey investment, but you needn't be as cautious as we once had to be on a game-by-game basis. You can relatively comfortably set your game to high or ultra settings and get comfortable, even high, frame rates at 4K. The RTX 3080 Ti tends to fall a little behind the RTX 3090, although it appears the more expensive card only sees marginal benefit for an increase in core counts and memory. The RTX 3080 Ti is only single percentage points off the pace. With performance close to the RTX 3090 at 4K, the RTX 3080 Ti is as much a gaming graphics card as its progenitor. With a vast bounty of CUDA cores and speedy GDDR6X memory, this card demolishes any game you can throw at it with relative ease. It's also more than capable of real-time ray tracing, courtesy of ADRT cores. The Ampere architecture is excellent, and stuffing more of it under that unassuming black and polished gray shroud simply makes for a great gaming chip. That was all from Creative Picks about best graphic cards in this video. The links of products are given in the description, which are updated for best prices. We will meet in next video. Till then, be careful and goodbye.